All right, so I want to start out by saying that I bought this Apple Vision Pro with my own money and I'm not returning it. Now, having said that, it's the most conflicted I've ever been about a product because there's such a massive gap between how I actually feel about it and then whether I think people should buy it. I also think that there's some misinformation out there, so let's debunk some of that. Now, a good analogy for the Apple Vision Pro is a very expensive, super nice car with a unique and incredibly smooth driving experience, but at the same time, it has uncomfortable seats and you can't drive it on most roads. So stay with me here. So other than my YouTuber friends, there's no one else in my circle that owns an Apple Vision Pro, and I've gotten more questions about it than any other Apple product since I've started the channel. And it showed me that at the very least, Apple generated interest and curiosity in a much larger segment of the audience that I had anticipated. And you can check out my initial impression video where I also talk about what I thought about the Apple Vision Pro before it was released. All right, so back to the car analogy and the driving experience. So the image quality is really amazing. Like there's no way for anyone to truly have your experience what it's like to go through the immersive experience demo because it's unlike anything that you've ever experienced before. And my guess is that this is one of the reasons why the conversion rate in terms of sales is so high after a demo. And it's not just the image quality, the spatial audio is extraordinary. I've had the Apple Vision Pro since the day it was released, and still every time I put it on to watch a movie or listen to music while I do work, I'm super impressed. Now at the same time, the reality is that there just isn't enough immersive content available yet, and that's a bit of a letdown after spending this much money. Now, of course, we know that more content will come, but I could literally watch a new piece of immersive content every day if it was available. Which sort of brings me to VisionOS and how you interact with the Apple Vision Pro. Now, I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos now, but in real life, it's magical. Like, it's super cool every time I use it, and I've used it every day since I've had it. Imagine a world where you can literally interact with objects using your eyes and without having to touch them. So moving and resizing virtual windows feels surreal. The eye tracking is precise, and overall the OS is super intuitive. Now, are there times where I misclick something or it takes me more than one attempt to move a window? Yes, but it's pretty rare, and it's usually because I've already moved my eyes to the next thing that I want to do instead of first grabbing the window that I wanted to move. Now, thinking ahead, being able to look at a smart speaker and then drag a virtual slider for volume or changing the temperature on your thermostat, like there's so many exciting possibilities. I already like the idea of watching a tutorial while cooking or trying to fix something and being able to control playback without having to worry about my hands being dirty or having to prop up an iPhone or an iPad in order to see it. Now let's get to comfort. And I think that we can concede that wearing any type of headset is going to be less comfortable than not wearing one, which on some level means that we need the upside of wearing it to be high enough to offset the cost of that discomfort. Like in a car, wearing a seatbelt is less comfortable than not wearing one, but it will save your life, so you do it. Now, having said that, the Apple Vision Pro is not the most comfortable AR/VR headset that I've ever worn. So that means that in order for me to get enough value out of it, I need the ecosystem of content and apps that are designed specifically for the Apple Vision Pro to grow. On top of that, since the light seal is detachable, it would be really cool if there was some way to get a custom part that's specifically designed to fit your face, even like from a third-party manufacturer. I think that as users want to wear the Apple Vision Pro more and more, comfort is going to become a priority, and it will also help alleviate glare. Now, one quick myth that I wanted to debunk is videos showing someone wearing the Apple Vision Pro while walking around and then moving windows around or interacting with content. That's just simply something that you can't do, and for good reason. So first of all, if you bring up the available apps and walk forward, they will just vanish. They don't move with you. If you open an app and then place it in space and then walk away, it will stay exactly where you put it. And the only way to have a window come with you is to literally grab it and hold on to it as you walk. But the second that you let it go to scroll or tap on anything else or actually use your hand to interact with the real world, that window stays locked where you left it. Now, the good reason for this is that your active windows are not transparent. So if you have a video playing in front of you, it blocks what's behind it and you would very quickly hurt yourself. For example, you can't see if the door is open or closed behind this video. Now in a car or on a plane, you can activate travel mode, and I'll get to that in just a moment, but first let's talk about the battery. So I'm getting somewhere between 2 to 4 hours of use on a full charge depending on what I'm doing. And for me, that's just not enough. The Apple Vision Pro battery costs $200 and there's only one size available, so you can't even get a larger size if you wanted to. It does charge fairly quickly, but I wish there was an LCD display on the battery pack so you can see an exact percentage. For right now, we don't even have 4 or 5 LED indicator lights that would give us a sense of how much charge we have left when we're not using the headset. I also hope that in the future you can just buy the cable itself and then use your own adapter or power bank. Now, when it comes to charging, the Apple Vision Pro comes with a single port 30-watt charger. But if you're like me, regardless of whether you're at home, at work, or traveling, you always have more than one device to charge, which brings me to a couple of great accessories. These two super compact chargers are the Nexode Pro 65-watt mini and 100-watt chargers from UGREEN. Both have 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port, so I can charge the Apple Vision Pro plus 2 other devices at the same time. They use the latest GaN technology, which means that they're small and remain cool. And with a device as expensive as the Apple Vision Pro, I feel safe knowing that UGREEN's thermal guard protects my battery from overheating, overcharging, and excessive current. And both models are able to charge my MacBooks to 50% or more in about 30 minutes. When I travel with my Apple Vision Pro, I use this 145-watt power bank. It has a 25,000 milliamp hour capacity, which is almost 8 times that of the Apple Vision Pro battery, has 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port, and I can get up to 100 watts from a single port. It has a digital display and I know exactly how much power is remaining, and with bi-directional fast charging, I can actually charge 2 devices while I'm recharging the power bank itself. So check out the link in the description for great deals on UGREEN accessories, and thank you to UGREEN for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now I want to talk about motion sickness because that's something that I'm super prone to experiencing. I can't play a lot of first and third person shooters, and I can't use my phone while I'm a passenger in a car, so several other headsets have given me issues. And in that context, the Apple Vision Pro just rocks. Like, you put a window in space and it does not move, like, at all. You can go to another room and come back and it's still exactly where you put it, and I've been able to use the Apple Vision Pro for hours without any issues. Now, since my first impression video, I tried using the Apple Vision Pro in a car with travel mode turned on, and that's a hard pass for me. Like, I had to take it off after less than a minute. And if you're watching this and you have one, I'd be super interested in knowing what your experience has been like. And speaking of travel, let's talk about portability and durability. So first of all, the build quality seems excellent, but the Apple Vision Pro does not come with a case or even like a small bag that you can use to cover the headset. There is a cover on the exterior, but you can't have the Apple Vision Pro loose in a suitcase or a backpack because the lenses are literally exposed on the inside. Now, I ended up buying a third-party case that has a relatively hard shell and a small piece that still protects the lenses, and I can't recommend enough that you get one for yourself. I'll link to a couple of options in the description, but honestly, I don't think that I've ever been this careful with any other product. Now, when I'm on a plane or in a noisy area, the audio on the Apple Vision Pro is outstanding, but there's no noise cancellation since you're not actually wearing headphones. That means that the airplane noise or any other ambient noises are still making their way into your ears. Now, you can actually turn the volume up relatively high on the Apple Vision Pro, and the spatial audio sounds amazing, but there's a ton of sound leaking and people around you can hear what you're listening to. So I'm not sure how I would feel about wearing it and watching a movie while someone's sitting like super close next to me. Now, typically when I travel, my AirPods Max are on the entire time. And while they would work with the Apple Vision Pro, that's a lot of weight on my head. Another interesting use case for the Apple Vision Pro is productivity, and there's 2 ways to look at it. On its own, I feel like it's fairly limited, mostly because of the typing experience. So whether I use the virtual keyboard with my fingers or with tapping, the user experience isn't great, and even responding to text feels cumbersome. It's doable, but it's slower, and if you make a mistake, correcting it is slower. So something that would typically take me 3 to 5 seconds might take me 30 to 45 seconds. And more importantly, it adds some user experience friction in a device that almost has none. And of course, this isn't unique to the Apple Vision Pro. It's a reality with essentially essentially any AR or VR headset. Now, things definitely change when I connect my MacBook Pro to the Apple Vision Pro. Now I have as big a visual display as I want. I can put it anywhere. I can have other Apple Vision Pro apps open at the same time, and the only request I have is for multiple virtual MacBook displays. I'm also now able to use the keyboard and trackpad on my MacBook, which removes all of the typing issues. And personally, coming from my main workstation, I now love being able to use my MacBook anywhere, then still have a video playing, plus multiple Safari windows available for reference sources, all at the same time without having any limitations in terms of space. Which actually brings me full circle back to the car analogy, because there just aren't enough roads available at this time. The dedicated immersive content on the Apple Vision Pro is the best that I've seen, but I want more of it. The dedicated apps work great, but there aren't enough of them, and even with the iPad and iPhone apps, there's still no YouTube, Netflix, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it is, so you have to use a browser. And in terms of gaming, there are some games, but again, it's still very early. The best part is that moving forward, not only are we going to be able to drive the Apple Vision Pro on more and more of the roads that we're already familiar with, it's actually going to pave new ones that are unlike anything that we've ever experienced before. So ironically, at this time, owning an Apple Vision Pro requires a little vision.